So Balaam began to repent and said, Lord, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't see. I didn't know. And the angel tells him, don't worry. Now you can go on. Thank you, angel. The angel said, now you can go on and travel on with Balak's men. But God wanted to speak a word, because before the angel left, the angel said, now whatever you say, make sure you only say what I tell you to say. But go on with Balak's men. And so the donkey carries him on to Balak. And so as they get to Balak, you can let him down now. I know you're glad to get that relief. Come on back, Balaam. I'm not through with you. You got a whole message to go. You're gonna earn that leaving today. And so Balaam began to talk to Balak. And he began to tell Balaam, Balak began to come out and meet Balaam, and he began to talk to Balaam here. And Balak said, now I sent men to bring you to me the first time, but you didn't come. But nevertheless, I'm glad you're here now, because I have a problem. He said, I have enemies that are not about to kill me and take my land and my people. And I need you to bless me and curse them. In other words, curse them that they will not be able to overcome me. But then Balaam speaks back and tells King Balak, he says, now, I cannot curse any person that God don't want me to curse. What I will do, I'll do exactly what God tells me to do. And if you want me to still do that, I'll do it. And so they begin. He said, the first thing I need you to build me 7 altars. We need the donkey to be an altar builder now. I need you to build me 7 altars. Just pretend to be erecting an altar here, but 7 of them. I need you to build me 7 altars. He said, I need 7 bullocks and 7 rams. He said, I want you to put a bullock and a ram on each altar. And he said, after that, then I'm going to sacrifice. And then after I make a sacrificial offering unto the Lord, I'll tell you what God says. And so then after the altars was erected and all the animal was placed on each of the 7 altars, Balak began to go and stand before God to get a word from the Lord. And while Balaam is getting a word from the Lord, he began to prophesy and tell the words of the Lord to Balak, the king. Because Balak and all of his people are afraid of the Israelites who's coming to take the land, because God sent them to take over the land. And so then now Balaam began to talk to King Balak, and he began to speak blessings over the children of Israel, telling them that God had blessed their forefathers Abraham, and God is going to give them the land, and that God have used them to go through many things, and he blessed them, and they've conquered many challenges, and God is going to strengthen their hand. And he goes on just blessing Israel with many words of exaltation and encouragement, and letting him know that Israel is going to be the conqueror in so many words. And so now King Balak is upset, and he stands up and he said, now I told you to curse them, but you blessed them. What's going on with that? Then Balaam said, I told you that I can only do what God tells me to do. I cannot curse who God have not cursed. I cannot bless who God have not blessed. And so then Balak says, well, come and go with me. Let's go to another side of the mountain, so we can look over and see the Israelite. And this time I want you to curse them over here. So he sets him up over here, and he does the same thing, inquires of the Lord and makes his sacrifices. And then lo and behold, he said, here comes the word of the Lord. And so at that time, Balaam began to do the same thing. He began to bless the children of Israel again. And so then King Balak is upset again. He said, I sent for you all the way here to come and curse my enemies so I can have a victory over here. And lo and behold, you have blessed them again. So then he said, there's one more time. I'm going to give you one more chance. He said, now come on, let's go over to this mountain, and let's look over at Israel from this position. And he said, I'm going to give you one more time to curse my enemies. And he said, and Balaam reminds him, he said, King Balak, I cannot and will not say anything unless God tells me. I won't bless anyone God didn't bless, and I won't curse anyone God didn't curse. And so then he inquires of the Lord after they built 7 altars again and sacrificed the 7 bullocks and 7 rams. And then he gets a word from God. And lo and behold, he does it a 3rd time. He blesses the children of Israel again. And so then now Balak is distraught. That's it. You bless my enemies and now I cannot win. It's over for me. You have destroyed me. And then Balak gives his parting shot. Balaam says, well, I told you I cannot curse whom God didn't curse. And I told you I cannot bless whom God didn't bless. But I let you know in the beginning that I'll only say what God tells me to say. And so then Balak goes back distraught because now he understands that what he was trying to do is not going to work. You see, he was trying to undermine what God was trying to do. He was trying to unbless whom God had blessed. And he was trying to conquer whom God had made conquerors. You see, that's the thing that ought to be an encouragement to you and I, the people of God. Because when God has made you a conqueror, then you won't be conquered. Because God has made you a blessing, you will be blessed and not cursed by your enemies. Because when God have exalted you, when God have blessed you, when God have promoted you, can't nobody do nothing about it. You see, you got to understand what God was doing here. Thank you, Balaam. But see, here's what God was doing when I look at that text. You see, the devil was trying to use King Balak to curse God's people whom God had already blessed. You see, this ought to make you excited when you hear what God did. You see, not only did he not succeed in cursing God's people, but what happened was they got blessed 3 times when God was only blessing them 1 time. You see, we ought to be encouraged the more that the enemy comes after you, because he's not going to conquer you, because God has made you and I conquerors. He said we are more than conquerors through Christ that loved us. So then the devil cannot conquer us because we are conquerors. And in the midst of all that, you have to understand, you see, every time Balak tried to curse Israel, God caused them to be blessed even more. So when you put that in the spiritual realm and bring that to us today, we should not fret when we're going through trials and tests and troubles and opposition, because the more the devil trying to come against you and come against me, guess what? The harder he come, and every time he try to take me down and try to take you down, guess what? God's going to bless you the more. Every time he come at you, you're blessed. You're blessed. Here's another blessing. Devil, since you tried to take their home and their car and their job and their family and put their children in jail, blessing, 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 blessing. That's what happens when the devil comes at you, because what he don't understand is that he is the exact opposite of God. And since the devil is negative, that makes God positive. Since the devil is evil, that makes God good. And since the devil, when he tried to take you down, that's just encourage God to set you up. That's why you shouldn't fret. You shouldn't be dismayed when you're going through something, because it's just something God is using to set you up so he can bless you. Tell somebody, you can't stop my blessing because it's my time to be blessed. God has said it, and he shall bring it to pass. Everything that God said, it shall come to pass. Say yes. Say